business world. And it was received very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to kind of continue that on.
And are you experiencing, how should I call it, that people first think, well, what's this young guy from America going to tell me? What does he know about? I have to visit someone who's in his 60s, who has done it all.
Yeah. Well, frankly, I don't care.
No?
No, because I'm not running around doing what I'm doing for anyone else.
No. No?
No.
You're doing because you like this.
This is my highest joy, man.
Yeah.
This is what I love.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not moving in this way to help people, per se. There's a play of help happening, but it's not my agenda. My agenda is to sing my song because it's what I love, and that those that enjoy, those that find value, they'll come hang out. That's life's business.
What's life's business?
To take care of the back end of who it's going to help and who it's not, and all of that. No.
Where it's going to be...
No.
So you're not like I was in my days of playing music in clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
I was a total control freak.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to the guys at the bar, you have to act this way. The guy at the door, the light, the this, the that.
Yeah.
You just enjoy doing this and the rest will be taken care of.
And I'm not one to even offer advice on how to do it or how not to do what you do. Because, quite frankly, the way that I move and operate would scare people to death. It's this movement of trust. Yeah. And really the only thing I'm interested in is sharing what I love. And the details will get taken care of. Somehow, some way. You know, and nothing's going to be lost in the process. So I'm just going to enjoy myself.
And you trust life completely.
Yeah, right now. But there will be a moment that shows itself where it appears that I don't trust, which will be an opportunity for me to see how I'm withholding love for myself. So thank you for that non-trust. And then move on.
Yeah. You mentioned the word love a lot of times. You seem like a very loving man. Also, your YouTube videos where you share love even without speaking.
Yeah.
How does that work with, well, with the ladies? I can imagine.
God.
I can imagine that there is a lot of females who see in you the perfect husband.
Yeah.
Who send you love letters, because you could easily confuse that love you are spreading with the.
It can be confused by them, and it can also be confused by me as a human being. Yeah.
Is that a difficulty?
It's a playful challenge that is teaching me again how to move in a more authentic and sincere way and integrity. But also, it can show up as a disaster. And again, that's another misconception, that because I'm speaking this, my life must look a certain way, or I must be the perfect this or that, and I can just promise that is not the case. No. There is an element of sweetness that is relayed, that is desired by the feminine. And the predominant audience for what I do is female. So there's a beautiful play that life is happening to help connect and communicate with people, which offers its own challenge. You know, everything could be a two-edged sword. And so, yeah, there's a lot of attention in that direction. But I'm constantly checking in with myself to make sure there's this movement of sincerity, that I'm not trying to fill some void in my own experience. And sometimes I fail miserably. You know, welcome to being a human being. Right now I feel like my heart is reserved for someone. And I've got rings on my fingers just as a sign. Just to let it be known that I'm not interested in engaging in that way.
There's a Dutch teacher who once said, don't confuse the mailman, the postman who brings the love letter. So don't go loving the mailman.
Yeah.
Love the letter he's bringing.
Yes.
That's the same with you too. It's the message.
Yeah, it's just a message. And this is what we do as human beings, is we project outward. We really believe that I am saying something to you, but really you are hearing yourself. You're interpreting what I'm saying. You're the one that's crafting the story. Mm-hmm. You're the one that's accepting it, rejecting it, all of that. It's all happening within you. Really, I'm irrelevant in this whole equation. Just singing my song.
So is it the self talking to itself right now? Or?
Yeah, that's all that's happening. We're just playing.
And why did the self start playing with itself?
It sounds like a good time.
Yeah, of course. Was it so boring up there then that he thought let's play the game of hide and seek, or let's play the game of two instead of one?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Well, in order for there to be experience, there has to be duality. There has to be a play. And so in that play, there has to be the appearance of you and me.
Yeah. And that's why we suffer. We think that play is real. We forget it's a play.
We take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really think there's a you and a me.
Yeah. And that's fine too.
Up until I take a knife and stab you.
Well, in some way, that's a lesson.
If I kill myself in the form of you, that would be, I think, would be the biggest, the terriblest thing to happen.
Yeah. That would be the play. That it would be the most terrible thing to happen.
So you wouldn't even take that too serious?
No. But it's not a discompassionate thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a broader perspective thing. That it's kind of like when someone close to me dies. It's like when my father died. There was this anger. But what I recognized was his death was perfect. It was right on time. It wasn't really about me losing anything. It was about me arguing with what's happening. Mm-hmm. It was about me projecting loss on what's happening. And so that created suffering because it wasn't really true. It doesn't make the feelings any less valid or that I shouldn't feel that way because it's not ultimately true. No. It's just this space of allowing that can see all is well, even though there is this appearance of loss. And so I don't mean to project an idea that says I shouldn't respond emotionally to the illusion, because that can be a very beautiful thing too. It's like the play between two human beings. Even though there's this knowing that I don't need the love of somebody else, I love the play of that love. I love the play of being so devoted to somebody or so taken back by somebody that I want to give them everything. And so that can be a play.
But never suffering during that play, or that's again the play of suffering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's fine too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so do you see what happens here? As we see the allowing for all experience, you let go of the future, of what might or might not happen, because you can see that somehow it's going to work out. That frees you up right now. Frees you right now.
Yeah.
And this is what we want. We don't want the future to be a certain way. We want to be free. And the only place you can be free is right now.
Yeah. It's as simple as that.
There you go.
Yeah. And still, so many books, so many teachings about this.
Yeah.
You can talk about this for days.
We certainly can.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
And I'll keep doing it while it's fun. And then when it's not fun anymore, I probably won't do it.
Yeah. One thing that's always talked about in these circles is the free will.
Yeah.
Did I decide, let's say yesterday, to come here, or did it just happen? And then some teachers tell me both.
Yeah.
And I go like, both. I want to have one clear answer.
Yeah.
Did I decide to do this interview? Did you decide to do this interview? Or was it just meant to be? Did it play out?
So you're saying you want to know.
That's, yeah. I want the reassurance
Yeah.
that I make decisions or I don't make decisions.
Right. Do you know?
No.
There's your answer. And that's what happens. Laughter.
Freeing.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to know.
You don't have to know.
Yeah. So what's that thing inside of me? We're talking now for about half an hour. We haven't mentioned the word ego, but is that the ego that wants to know, wants to grab? What's that inside of me that wants to know?
Because you want to know yourself. You want to know. It's the question of what am I? That's every question. Is what am I? That's ultimately what we're asking.
Yeah. Am I the decision maker, Or am I the enjoyer? Or am I the seer? Or
And all of that takes place in the mind, which doesn't have anything to do with the you that's here right now. And so in order to really see what I am, I have to see beyond the mind. I have to see before the mind.
yeah.
And you can't do that from a place of fear, because the mind is trying to hold on to something for the future. And it's afraid it's going to lose it, which is valid, because you are going to lose it if it's contained in the mind.
Yeah.
And so to surrender that and recognize the freedom now, you can really answer that question of what am I? But to put a name to it, to put a word to it, isn't really what it is. I could say it's now. I am now. But intellectually, no. It's just being. It's an allowing.
So is it ultimately all about the fear of death? Because that, what you say, it's not going to last, that image I have of myself. I'm going to die.
Yeah. In one way, you could say every fear is a fear of death, the fear of an end, the fear of a loss of a story, fear of lack, that there's not enough. And it's not true.
I once read on a wall in a spiritual community, all fear thoughts are not true. Do you agree with that?
I agree that no thought is true.
No thought?
No thought is true.
Because?
Because truth, what is true, has to be here. Because this is real. And you can't comment on that. Because the moment you comment on it, you remove yourself from the awareness of it.
So thought always comes too late.
Correct. And this is great because when I go and share, I expose the spiritual magic trick that's happening in a way, is we come collectively with an agreement to be open, to receive. And then in that, insight and wisdom is shared, but the insight and wisdom is appeasing the mind. It's inviting the mind to be still. And when you see you have permission to be still, then you connect with something that's more real, more true. It's not a word, it's not a language, it's just oh, I feel that. That's real. And then as you connect with that and notice that in satsang, that begins to transform your experience. It's not really the words or what I'm saying, it's that you are here willing to connect with the truth of you. And when you recognize that and feel it, you return home to that when you move away from it.
And nothing can change that.
What do you mean?
Well, let's say I've experienced that in doing interviews, doing satsangs.
Yeah.
A sense of coming home.
Yeah.
A sense of letting go. A sense of relaxing. I feel it in the way I sit.
Yeah.
In the way I look, and people start seeing twinkle in my eyes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I go walk to the car and I can't find my keys, and there I'm back in the mind again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going, where is that beautiful feeling I just got 5 minutes ago?
Yeah. Well, you went back to being a person.
Yeah. The person who was not finding his keys.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because not finding your keys is interrupting your story.
Yeah, the story of that beautiful bliss I was just
Exactly.
experiencing.
And the bliss never actually went away.
It just got clouded by the...
Yeah, it's holding space for your play of being irritated.
Yeah. So even that is a kind of love.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I should start loving the moments I'm irritated.
If you'd like.
It's not, but it's not not necessary.
No, you're free.
Free to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
So even nothing wrong with the old grandma who got left by her husband at the age of 50, and until she dies at 90, 40 years of frustrated sitting behind the curtains and thinking the world is a bad place.
Nothing wrong with that? You can imagine something wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then feel the tension of that in this moment, even though that's not happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just imagining examples of people who get stuck in that misery and take on the role of a victim and never come out of it.
Yeah.
You start laughing when I talk about this, as it were a cartoon where I'm watching.
Well, and you have to understand, this is what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
You and I here. if that becomes the reality and I'm sitting with somebody in that space, it's a completely different interaction.
Dynamic.
Yeah.
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 But it's just, I can imagine why you're laughing now. You're laughing about the silliness of the story.
Yeah, and I'm just really enjoying life right now.
Okay, yeah, that's good. It's nice to hear. You're going to do some more things over here in Holland, also with youth. With the how do you in Nederland zeggen we jongeren, not children, but
teenagers.
Teenagers. Yeah. And what are you going to tell them?
I really don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I just know the space has been set up, and I'm going to arrive and see what happens. I have a feeling it will have to do something with love.
Love?
Yeah.
Okay. And for a teenager, love is like a very exciting adventure, but it's the first time you fall in love.
Well, love as a space of being, so that they can recognize that all is well, and that they have permission to follow their joy in this life.
So you're not like some elderly who puts up his finger and says, throw away your cell phone. It makes you miserable being on Facebook all day and Twittering, Instagram. No.
I actually have a funny story about the Facebook thing. Shortly before that No Words video, I was in this space of reflection of, man, I sure am spending a lot of time on Facebook. You know, engaging with people and posting and all of that and liking comments. And I had to get sincere with myself. It's like, why am I doing this? And it was like, because I enjoy it. I enjoy connecting and sharing with people this way. And then not long after that, that video takes off and goes viral and then contributes more to the sharing. That helps me do more of what I enjoy.
Yeah.
And I playfully see that as this reflection of my own agreement that I'm in the right spot, that I'm doing the right thing. And then life supported that.
For me, the fear is that Facebook and all the Twitter things I do are just gaining attention, searching for love outside of myself.
It could be. Yeah. And that's a great opportunity to reflect on that. And it doesn't mean that has to stop. It might mean that you engage it in a different way.
How do I tell the difference? How do I know the difference?
Are you engaging in it with anxiety?
Well, I know for sure that because I had a YouTube channel for about 5 years with millions of views. Because of a stupid thing, YouTube cancelled the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I was sick for a week.
Yeah, because your worth was wrapped in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was part of my ego. It was part
awesome.
of my... I'm Patrick, the guy with the big YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And now...
I'm happy for you.
Happy that it's gone.
Well, if that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it still brought me so-called suffering.
Yeah.
I would now drive to Paris if someone told me, if you now drive to Paris, you get back your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I would be in the car right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that's sane or a healthy way of engaging in social media.
Well, you could say, yes, I would drive to Paris to do that and do it in a different way now.
Yeah.
I would be honored to be back in that position, but to do it more authentically rather than wrapping my identity up into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you still bothered by your identity?
Am I bothered by my identity?
Does it bother you in a sense of if this interview would be seen 5,000 times,
no.
10,000?
I don't care at all. No, I'm not here for that.
No. I know, but I would imagine from my place, it would be nice that this interview would be watched.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
but it's irrelevant.
Irrelevant to the joy that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely irrelevant to my life.
Yeah.
What happens to this interview when I leave?
Yeah. Even if in 5 minutes I would say power shut down, interview gone.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say we did it for nothing.
No, because we are so in joy, in fullness of this moment, that it's complete. It doesn't need to be anything other than this. And I'm not relying on this for my own wellness.
Yeah. So there's no particular reason of doing this.
Other than joy? No.
And is joy then always the reason to do things, contribute to joy?
Depending on what your perspective of joy is, I would say yes. In another way, I'd say no. maybe more appropriately, we could say sincerity as the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
This is very sincere for me to do. Because joy we can see as, oh, it means I'm happy. I always have to go and be happy. I wouldn't say that at all.
No. That could be an ego thing also.
Exactly, because I'm afraid of feeling sad.
Yeah, so I'm just following the parties. I'm looking at the party agenda every day. Where is the biggest party? I'm going to be there. Because I don't want to feel that.
Yeah.
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 One more question about depression.
Yeah.
Any advice for people who are watching this and who are now going through this phase of depression? What's the thing to do? Feel?
The first thing I would say is everything's okay. What's happening is an opportunity for you to see what you really are rather than what you imagine yourself to be. And so can you find within yourself an openness to see that rather than fighting the present moment experience? And just in that openness, be willing to let go of the expectation of who you think you should be and let life show you what you really are.
And that's it?
For now.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask me tomorrow, I might say something different.
Yeah. When people want to get in touch with you, there's the website.
Yeah, tigmonk.com.
Can you maybe put up the book? Very proud. Is there translations in other languages already?
Not yet.
Okay.
But that could change tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could. Thanks for the book. I can. I know some people had some. Well, whatever. Anything you want to say to or ask me or want to tell the people who watch this?
I'm just so thrilled. Thank you for allowing this to happen.
Yeah.
This is a really big honor.
Do you have to bring home some typically Dutch treats or sweets, or have you got an did people tell you bring back this? We have some kind of things over here in Holland where you don't have in
This is true. Yeah.
Stroopwafels.
Well, I am traveling fairly lightly, and I don't actually know when I'm going back.
Okay.
And so we'll see. I know that my daughter would love me to bring something back, but
okay.
Yeah.
Do you also do sessions with people on Skype?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do one-on-one sessions, normally in a package type thing.
Mm-hmm. It's all on the website, and you have your own YouTube channel. Last question: why is it that you mostly do this in the car?
Because that's when it happens.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, and I will say that most of the sharing that I do is on Facebook. Mostly because I'm lazy. And, organizing all these different things and the website and all of that, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so all of the videos that I'm making are on Facebook. I don't spend much time putting it on YouTube. Eventually that might happen, but for now there's probably about 300 videos on Facebook that people can find. But making the videos in the car, it's just fun. And so that's why I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like you have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Also in the videos. Okay, we're going to search you up on Facebook, Tycho Singleton. Thanks for visiting Holland.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Sitting here with my friend Ramon.
Ramon.
Better known as under his artist name Charlie Lonois.
Yes.
Of the famous duo Charlie Lonois and Mental T.O.
Mm-hmm.
For people who don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
You scored a lot of big hits in the happy hardcore segment of the world.
In the 90s.
In the 90s.
Yes.
Now it's 2017.
Yeah.
And you are still
playing as a DJ.
Yeah.
Yes.
How come?
Because I like it. I still feel that my heart is in it. For instance, when tonight we were talking just before about it. When I go to a performance, then it might be in the middle of the night, or just as it is today. We were traveling to the south of Holland, and we were visiting you before. And afterwards, we go into a hotel, and we sleep a little bit, and then we go to the club, and we have to start at 2 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
But then we make a kind of a holiday, a short holiday of it.
Yeah.
And that's good. That feels really good.
You're not playing every weekend.
Not every weekend, no.
And what about, you could imagine, I'll have to get a lot of money Because in 10 years or 5 years, this is all going to be over.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in the 90s. In the 90s, for me, it was like, oh man, we have to grab it all. We have to do it all. I cannot say no to any kind of gig because we have to grab 300 gigs a year, 250. But now I'm getting a little bit older, and think whatever Buddha, the God or something like that on my naked knees, that it's still going on and that I still can play the music. And the good thing is that I'm now inside more relaxed about this. So I say, okay, I don't have to do so many gigs. I like it, but not so many, not like 200, but like for instance 30 or 35. And that feels really good, like a really good energy.
Yeah. And has there been a while that you stopped playing? Have you done a sabbatical for a year or two?
Yeah, 2005. Yeah, that was after really a very rough period again, like a rush, you know, with the Star Splash period. People who don't know it, just Google Star Splash. 2001 until 2004. At the end of 2004, I had the same thing which I had back in the 90s, that I was on the edge of a burnout. And I was on, we very short, we were doing a video in Daytona Beach. I was flying back to Amsterdam, and I was on the airport, and it was on a Friday morning. I landed there and I booked the Mercure hotel there on the airport just to sleep a few hours and then go to Linz in Austria. But I was sleeping there just like 4 hours, and I woke up and I didn't know where I was. Like, oh, maybe you had it also sometimes when you had a very short sleep, then you don't know where you are. So I went to the sushi bar to grab some food, like a breakfast. And for instance, at that moment, the whole Schiphol airport was turning around me. Like I began to feel very dizzy, and exactly the same as I had back in the 90s, also in a club in The Hague. So I went on my knees there, and the people were looking at me. What is this?
What's going on?
Yeah. So I felt really terrible, and at that moment I thought I had to do a sabbatical. So I did a sabbatical in 2005, wrote my book, Autobiography of a DJ.
A documentary was made out of it?
Yes, documentary in 2007.
Is this still on YouTube?
Yeah, still on YouTube, still on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie Lono's YouTube channel. In this year, and also writing the book, was for me a very important thing, because I could, how do you say it in English, the drijfveren, why I was doing all those kind of things, why I was doing the DJing, why, because of the money, because of the women, because of because of the fame, you know, all those kind of things came up in me, and I could really see from a distance what was going on in the person of Ramon, of Charlie Lonois, and that was very important. So at the end of 2005, I decided I'm going to play again, but now only 10 to 12 times a month.
Yeah. Different motivation.
Really different motivation. And also in that time, I had a house on Ibiza. I rented a house together with some friends. So I brought my mountain bike to Ibiza, and also my family, and we had really good quality time there. I was biking over the island there, and just really enjoying the summer, the spring, and the after summer. It was really good.
Yeah. It gave you new energy.
New energy, yeah.
Some people know it, some people don't, but you are also a Zen teacher.
Yeah.
How come?
Yeah, it was, like I said before, at the end of the 90s. How can I say it? Something inside said for me, I am not satisfied the way I am living. And what's missing? I have a very beautiful girlfriend. I have a very big car. I have a very nice house. I'm very healthy, but something was missing. And not really in words, you know, but for instance, my brother, who's also here, he said to me, come on, for the good energy, go boxing. So I went boxing, and I felt it in my body again, you know, really good energy. And then after some time, I wrote an interview in the newspaper in The Hague about 2 German managers which went to Japan to do a sesshin there. A sesshin of, I think, like one week sitting there in the Japanese temple. And like it was really a tough time, but also they learned a lot about themselves. And like what I was reading there in this book, because I bought the book and I was reading it like in 2 days out. 2 days it was for me. I was totally into it.
Which book was that?
It was Zen and Management. Zen and Management.
Okay.
Yeah.
It still can be found on.
Yeah. It's a really popular book in the management segment.
And that grabbed you. You thought, this is it.
It grabbed me really by the balls, you know, and it was like I had to read it 2 times after each other, and then I thought I want to do something with it with the Zen. So I went to the bookshop again, and I thought reading another book about Zen. And then I found like a prospectus, you know, a folder of a teacher in The Hague which gave lessons in Zen. And I really didn't know how to, what do I have to think about and how does it go? Well, I thought, okay,
let's try it.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Went to this course, and it was only sitting on the kitchen on a small black cushion. Sitting there.
With your eyes closed?
No, I had my eyes like small open, you know, like really small, and then concentrate on one point in front of me and following the breathing. And then what I noticed, that I had so many thoughts, like a tornado of thoughts going voo, 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 voo. When the one thought was coming, then the other one was coming, and it was really like like hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And what happened? Did those thoughts stop by themselves? Or
Yeah, they stopped. And but when I was trying to stop them, then I began very tired of want to stop it. You know, it's not possible to stop thoughts. Because what I know now is that thoughts are the same as your breathing, or the flowing of your blood, or the beating of your heart. We all have thoughts, and it's very, very helpful. 15 minutes the first time, and I can remember that also in those 15 minutes that there was one moment of those thoughts and the judgment about those thoughts that stopped a little bit, like it become more like water, which is very strong, stormy. Yeah, it began to ease, you know, and to more like being a mirror, you know. Yeah. And that's what I noticed there, and now I can tell it in words, but at that moment I was only experiencing it.
Is that the essence of Zen? Or what is the essence of Zen?
The essence of Zen.
Yeah. The
essence of Zen is concentration and is leading a healthy life.
It's a lifestyle.
It can be a lifestyle. Yeah, you can also make a rational thing out of it, or a theory. But how they practice Zen in Japan is a healthy way of living.
Yeah. So it has to do with everything, not just meditating, but also
working,
your house, food, your love life.
That's it. The metaphor of Zen. For instance, when they practice it in the temples, and what I also do with people when I organize the weekends in Drenthe, is that we practice Zen, for instance, working in the garden. So doing really the farmer life, and that's really hardcore life. That's really hardcore working. And we do it also in silence, you know. So when we have to say something against each other, like really basal things or normal things, we do it. But that's one thing.
In silence.
In silence. Yeah, in silence. Also, when we get up very early. So 4:30 we get up. Then we start meditating at 5. We do 2 periods. After this, we do sports, and then we have the breakfast. So first, putting some energy in the body, and then having breakfast.
Did you stop smoking?
Smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah, long time ago.
Okay, but not because of Zen. That is,
No.
Did you stop anything? Did you stop using whatever?
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning, I had to think that I had to become a vegetarian. So for about 6 months, I stopped really like eating any kind of fish or meat. But after some time, I started doing this again. But now I'm eating meat every like when I feel like doing it. For instance, we were driving this way and we stopped at the restaurant and I was eating a chicken soup, and that's okay. But I know when I'm eating this soup, I know that an animal has given his life to give me my energy. You know?
It sounds like eating mindfully.
Like this, or like the Indians. The Indians, for instance, they did it like when there was like the bisons. They came by every once a year with a lot of bisons, and the Indians they shoot them. But before they shoot them, because I think for the whole crowd of Indians which were living there, they had like maybe 5 bisons were enough. So they made it like a kind of a prayer that the bisons give their life to keep them alive.
Be thankful.
Be thankful, and also know that everything is one.
Yeah, it supports each other.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you respect that, and you give some love back or whatever.
We're not separated.
Yeah. I want to talk about that oneness some more, but first of all, I know almost for sure that a lot of young DJs are watching this and think, I'm going to get inspired by Charlie Nonois. This man became a big star. I want to become a big star also. Mm-hmm. What's the best advice you can give to young guys and girls who want to reach the same as you reached?
Follow your heart.
No advice, no rules you have to follow. No mistakes.
No rules. No rules. Don't follow any rules, because the best thing is that you do what is inside you. You know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just said all one, no separation. Yeah. For instance, I learned a lot about Ben Liebrand, Lex van Koevoorde, about Peter Slaghuis, which were very big examples for me
in the 80s.
In the 80s. Yeah. But I made my own style out of it, and that's very important for the youngsters, that they don't have any rules. And for instance, when I was making music, the first music that I produced was like copies of KLF. You know, I tried to make KLF
Last
sounds.
Train to Trans Central.
Yeah, so my first record, RJ's Rule, Rave This Nation, was really like a copy of KLF.
You have to start somewhere.
That's it. And then afterwards, you let go of the examples and you become your example, but in your form. So that's what I was telling you before. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Mm-hmm. Emptiness is form. That's it. That's the whole explanation of it.
Could you say that you are the inventor of happy hardcore?
The inventor.
How did it go? Did you just pitch at the wrong time? You said, hey, that sounds nice. How? Where did it come from?
Theo and me began working together, Mental Theo. And he was like really the man of the hardcore records. Mm-hmm. I was like the man of the melodies. And when we came together, that was like that he put up the tempo, and I put on the melodies. Yeah. So I was in my studio like trying to reach a perfect sound. And he was like, "Oh no, that you don't have to make it perfect, you know." And then we were playing also as DJs in Germany with the rave sound, you know, Marusha, Westbam, DJ Dick, and all those kind of hot sequencer. They made like a really happy sound, which became in my heart, you know. I liked it very much, and also
it touched you.
It touched me very much. And then we came in England, and the breakbeats. And that touched Theo. Yeah. So together we made this thing, and we said, okay, we have to do a little bit of rave, a little bit of Dutch hardcore, and a little bit of English happy hardcore, Britain hardcore, and then put it together and make happy hardcore, and that's when happy hardcore. So we are the inventors of happy hardcore, but we are also not. We did it together with the rave, with happy hardcore in England, and with the hardcore in Holland.
Is that the same for everything in life? Can nobody claim that he is the inventor of anything?
Nothing. We are all doors.
Doors.
The doors.
Yeah, and where does it come from through that door? Inspiration.
It comes. It just comes. Be still, and it comes through you.
You're talking Bruce Lee now.
Really?
Yeah, he once said, "Be still like water, my friend."
Okay.
But it's another thing. Okay, let me think. This is also for the website about Advaita, non-duality.
Yeah.
Have you ever been
mellow? Have you ever been mellow?
Have you ever been to a satsang?
To satsang? No, never been to satsang.
No.
I saw it many times on your channel.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I really like it.
Do you see, of course you see comparison with Zen, but what's the main difference then between non-duality and Zen?
Well, I think that I like satsang more than the things in Zen, because in Zen it is more like you have an authority, you have like a teacher which is in front of you, and this is the Japanese Zen. I'm not talking about the Japanese Zen. But in that's in Japan, you sit like in front of this teacher, and the teacher says, okay, tell me your answer on this question or that question, and I don't know. No. Okay, then go sitting again. Sit. And they hit you with the stick. Sit again.
Very strong.
Yeah, very strong. And think about the answer. Next time I want to have a real good answer.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit crazy. We are not Japan, you know. We are not separated, but we are not the same culture.
No.
But and then you have this satsang. When I see this satsang in, for instance, Hans Laurentius, sometimes I see it on your channel. Then I think that's a really good modus, because something spontaneously comes out of the silence, and that's what I really like, because that's also the essence of Zen. When you go deeper and you go. Voorbij. Hoe zeg je voorbij? Voorbij in English. Voorbij in English. Past. When you pass the teachers, when you pass the masters, then you come to what is really spontaneously, and that's what also the teacher or the master wants from you. He wants that you go as fast as you can, seek yourself a girlfriend, make children, and live a normal life.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Become normal again.
Normal? We are normal.
Yeah, but sometimes we go to spirituality to become special.
Yeah, but that's not what Zen about. I don't know other things, but Zen is not about special. Zen is about normal life.
Yeah, that's a famous quote. Before awakening, chop wood, carry water.
Yeah.
After awakening, chop wood, carry water. But still, a lot of people see you as a special someone. You know, when I tell people, I did an interview this afternoon with Charlie Lonois. Oh, and how is this man in real? Is he nice? Does he have a big ego? That has to do something with you. When you come at an airport and there are, maybe not today, but then in the 90s, 500 girls screaming.
Yeah.
What does that do with your... Does it fuck up your brain? What does it do?
Well, yeah. I can imagine when I think back that we were playing in Saarbrücken in Germany, and we came with our car in front of the hotel, and we had to play the next day there. We came in front of the hotel, and there were many girls sleeping there, sleeping bags in front of the hotel, just to see. We were thinking just to see some other guys caught in the act, which were also sleeping in the same hotel.
Backstreet Boys, kind of band.
Yeah, but they were just lying there to see us, you know. So
Charlie Lono is a mental.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, but that does something with your brain.
Yeah. It also, I heard some teachers say, an artist coach who said it gives you kind of chemicals in your brain which you can get addicted to.
Yeah.
How do you keep sane when you get that kind of fame and that kind of attention from people?
Yeah, it's crazy because I had not so long time, but I had short time that I was also believing in my own success, you know. Yeah. And for instance, this DJ which is standing there on the stage and gets all the applause. And when I was coming home, I was the same.
Yeah.
I was not the boyfriend of my girlfriend.
Yeah.
No, I was the DJ. You know. So, for instance, the same as the director of a bank, which is the manager, comes home and it's the same against his wife and his children.
And what does that do? Did that relationship
didn't end very well?
Yeah, because of that.
Yeah, also because of that. Yeah.
And no regrets? You think, man, I don't think my career was that important?
I had regrets, but at this moment I don't have any regrets. I just, I faced it. And I've seen that it had all to do with some kind of things, and then it's okay like this. I'm still alive. I have now a beautiful girlfriend also, and
no children.
No children, no.
No regrets on that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think you would be a great father.
Yeah, I think also.
Yeah,
I think also, yeah.
But you're the father of Happy Hardcore, but that will die out sometime.
Yeah.
And you didn't give your genes. Yeah, you gave the music. That's also that's also great.
Yeah, but one of my teachers, he said, it's not so important to give a biological life. You can also give it in another form.
Yeah.
So I said,
that's what you still do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let me think. There's so much things I want to ask you. We talked about in non-duality. We talk about the person being a fiction. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
That it's just one is.
It is
doing a dance right now.
It is.
It
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the beginning of Zen and the end of Zen. The beginning of Zen and the end of Zen. The beginning says you already know everything what you want to know. You already know everything, and you don't know. And at the end of Zen, in Zen, you also have like you're becoming very. Because in front of you there's a teacher, he's asking you questions. What is the sound of one clapping hand, one hand clapping? Or can you show me the face can you show me your face before the birth of your parents? And he wants answers on those questions.
That's Koan.
Koan, that's Koan training.
Can they be answered, those comments?
They can be answered. Yeah. They can be answered, but they can be answered and they can't be answered because you pass also those answers. So they give you like an answer, like an insight, and then you think I got it. Well, you don't got it.
No.
You never have it. You always have to go on. That's the same in music, and that's why I say you already know what you have to know. For instance, you do the same. You interview all those teachers and those masters and those spiritual guys and everything, but you want to know that
it's a confirmation of what I already know inside.
Yeah, but it's also every time a different record.
Yeah.
Every time a different song.
Yeah.
But the underlayment, the song, the music is the same.
Yeah.
Where it is built out is the same.
Yeah.
And that is exactly where it's all about.
Could we call that love?
Yeah, that's it. It's the thrill. It's the love thrill. It's the fundament. It's the it is bliss. You know, it is bliss.
Yeah.
So it's not really important if you do Zen, if you are in the Islam, if you are Christian, if you are DJ, if you are whatever you want to be. But the main thing is that it's in your heart.
Yeah. It has to come from inside.
Yeah, it has to come from inside, not from outside.
And can you name an example of things you used to do but you now say no to? I can imagine cutting cords at the opening of a new mall, or
no. For instance, when I was performing with Theo in the 90s, we started as DJs and we started as computer producers, you know, and that's what we liked really a lot. So having a lot of fun in the studio and also going out in Germany, in Holland, all over the world, and having fun there and play our new records, which we just produced in the studio. Yeah. But for instance, when we had the great success afterwards, we were just going out for playing on the keyboard, which was not coupled to any kind of mixer or anything. It just was fake, you know.
So playbacking.
And that was in the beginning like doing 2 or 3 shows In a month, it was okay.
Yeah.
But after a while, we did like 30 shows a month. And that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was not from the heart.
Not from the heart.
No.
This was only for the money and just grabbing everything. And
It was an act.
It was an act.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was an act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is there something wrong with that? In Advaita they say there are no mistakes. Everything is just as it is, and
It is. It's no mistake. I don't judge it. But the only thing is, the heart is bigger, and the heart is whole.
Let's say they ask you for the jury of the Voice of Holland.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Why?
I like it because I like to give my opinion. I like, for instance, yesterday I was watching the program, and I was thinking, how many talents have we got? For instance, Pleun was singing her Pleun bier nog iets. She was singing, and I was having those goosebumps, you know. And then Waylon said it all, and I thought that's a really good job to be there in the jury. I'm not a master at music because I have to play my music in the computer, just touching with 2 fingers the keyboard.
Yeah.
But I can be touched, and I also can give people trust, you know, and faith in what they do.
Dus that could be a next career for you also, producing new talent or...
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I already do it with a young DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no singers, female singers?
No.
Or,
No.
And how can I taste the difference between something that is made from the heart and something that's made from the head?
A hit made out of the head can also be a hit in the heart of some other people. It's not that...
It's not universal.
No. You know what it is? For me, it is important to produce something out of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I feel like emotional, then I know that a lot of other people also feel the same emotion.
Yeah.
Because emotion is universal.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But when you are very smart, you can also make a hit out of the head, because you know with the head which is emotional.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's no problem.
Okay. And tonight, when you were playing for let's say 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I did that also, playing a lot in clubs, and for me, at one point in the evening, there comes a kind of shift where the DJ goes away, the audience goes away, and the only thing that's left is that vibe, that atmosphere, that party scene. How is that for you? Do you still experience that shift?
Yeah, same. And it also goes. It also goes.
Yeah.
Like it's coming. You're in this flow, and everything disappears, and it just happens. But also, at some moments, then you are in the duality again.
Yeah. How come? Where does the magic end?
That's the head.
The head comes in.
Yeah, that's the head. That's the head.
People become aware of themselves.
Yeah, and that's also emotion. Because sometimes I also, sometimes I'm also scared. I have it also sometimes that I'm scared.
When you're playing?
Yeah, sometimes. It's not many times. But sometimes I also feel like a bit of scaredness comes. Mm-hmm. That's also an emotion. I think you can experience it also. Yeah. And then when I experience a little bit of scaredness, then I feel that I'm in this duality.
Yeah.
But I also can laugh at it. Oh, there it comes again. Yeah. And then I go on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then it goes. Just like the clouds in the sky, just like the waves on the water. It's okay. It's a part of me.
How come that when we are playing, I tried once making a playlist in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm going to play that song and then that song and then that song. And I tried it. After 3 songs, I threw away the playlist. This doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Well, how come?
Well, that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about our job, like being a DJ. That the audience, the crowd, helps you to choose your records.
It's a strange thing how that works.
It's one.
So, but who decides the direction then? Are you the orchestrator of the? What is orchestrating the thing?
Well, both.
Audience and DJ.
Yeah, both. They do it both.
Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, giving this step forward to no. The party organization is booking me for a party. Okay, then I say, yes, I do it. I come and I start my gig.
Yeah.
And then some of the audience from the crowd come to me and say, hey, Ramon, can you please play this and this record?
Yeah.
They help me. And I said, good. Yeah. That's really good what you, that's a really good suggestion.
That's a strange thing, because sometimes you don't know, and there comes someone from the audience who says exactly the right track you have to play at
that Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's strange, and that's a beautiful moment.
And that is also in satsang and also in Zen, when you have this conversation.
A question pops up.
It comes up. And the wholeness, the oneness comes up in the satsang and also in the Daison with the Zen or whatever you call it.
Doesn't that feel a little bit awkward for you? Because you get paid a lot of money to play the records. Mm-hmm. The audience has to pay money to come and visit the party. Mm-hmm. Isn't it a little bit out of balance?
Yeah.
If we talk about this, because the audience plus the DJ makes the party. Mm-hmm. And I know there has to be some difference, but we know that it's all the same. So, let's talk a little bit, if you want to, a little bit about money, because that's, for me, I stopped playing as a DJ because I didn't get the feeling out of it anymore. I hated it at the last couple of gigs.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
But I still thought, man, but this is 1,000, 2,000 euros I can earn here in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I cannot say no to this. But all my body said, and the strange thing, I got really scared to play records because my whole body said, no, never.
Yeah.
But money, it still is a part of how
I know the feeling. I know exactly the feeling what you're talking about that. But that is becoming a head thing.
Yeah.
That's head.
You cannot follow that motivation.
No. And it's also very nice when people like you so very much that they pay a lot of money for you to come and do your trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So?
For instance, how is it? This Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
I don't think that he just comes to a satsang all over the sea, from Canada to Holland, just for the energy, for the prana. No. And I don't think that that other guys which are doing a very good thing do it. I think money is also energy.
Ah.
Yeah, and when you see it like this,
it's love. Money, it's a package of love people give you.
Yeah, but when you don't see it like this, you can also see money like something else, like dirty cash.
Yeah, but that's when you earn it maybe in the wrong way, when your heart is not in it. Because I know when I earn a lot of money and I go out the next day to eat and I taste the food and I know it's made with love, I give a big tip.
Yeah.
Then the energy starts flowing again.
Yeah. And the same, for instance, when I see Lionel Messi playing, I like it so much when he plays the soccer, He is not... he likes the game. He really likes the game from the beginning until the end.
Yeah.
I never saw him, maybe one time that I saw him being a little bit of negative, but most of the time he is just as good as he ever was.
Yeah.
And that is really, really, really good,
Yeah.
And that is the most important, that you like the play.
Yeah.
Just the play. It's the play.
Yeah.
It's all the game.
What do you think is a good age that a DJ should stop DJing? DJ Jean is now, what is he, 52, 51?
Yeah.
Isn't that, aren't you
Never?
losing? No?
Never? No.
Aren't you losing the connection with the youth and
No, it's
people?
Then it's the heart.
Okay,
It's
the
a
heart
heart.
is timeless, it's ageless.
Yeah, it's inside,
Yeah.
And whatever the people say, for instance, Heino a
singer.
few, I know the singer.
Yeah.
I was walking in Germany and one time and I saw this big billboards of Heino, and he was, I thought he was already dead,
Yeah.
but he was like 72 and
He's
he made a
still
new
fast.
album,
Yeah.
and he was there with his white hair and his black glasses and just made a big tour. 72, unbelievable.
Yeah. So you think you're still going to do this?
I think I said to Theo last time. I think that in 20 years we were coming on the stage with the rollators.
In a wheelchair.
In a wheelchair.
I can imagine that. Yeah. Okay, some final words because your brother is getting a little bit anxious. He wants to get some nice clothes.
At the shopping mall.
At the shopping outlet. For some young DJs, one of the reasons I do this interview is also to inspire them.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, you also inspired headhunters.
Mm-hmm.
Willem is also into. Should every young DJ get a taste of this Zen thing, Advaita thing? Can they help?
If they want, then they. Yeah. I had a few years ago. I had a very famous DJ, which is now very big in the hardstyle scene also. We had some appointments, we did some meditation, and we talked about this thing, this thing. And he was not satisfied with his life at that moment. And I said to him, man, you have such a really good life, and maybe you don't see it at this moment, but you can do this thing which you were dreaming of when you were a little child. You are playing very good music, and you have a lovely girlfriend, and you're traveling all around the world for so many people which like the things you are doing at this moment. So live your life. Do it at this moment. You are 30. Live your life.
Enjoy.
Yeah. And he did it. And he's very thankful.
It worked.
Yeah, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
That's what I like. So I want to say to all the youngsters, the DJs, just do whatever you want. And love life. Love what you do.
Finally, some advice for jocks or DJs who feel like they're maybe also coming into a burnout, that they think it's all too much traveling, too much everything. We have in Holland here this guy who stopped playing as a DJ, who also became in a burnout. What's his name again? He was also at RTL. What was his name again? He was this RTL late night. Not Sidney Sampson, but.
Yeah, I know what you. The guy who is with this runner with Nicky Romero.
Nicky Romero. He stopped playing because he couldn't handle the stress anymore.
And that is really important. So listen to your heart. Listen what your heart is saying. I mean, when you feel, listen to your body. Your heart is your body.
Yeah.
So listen.
But there's a management that says, "Come on, don't be silly. You're 20, 25. You can handle this. It's all between the ears."
Yeah.
Is it maybe the fault of the managers who keep pushing their talent, or?
It's not the fault. It's your responsibility. It's your own responsibility. You also can say no
to a gig or for a year.
Or what you can say is like, what I want to do now is that I'm just playing once a month or 2 times a month, but to get some air.
Yeah.
Really like literal and also physical. Get some air.
Yeah.
Go out. I know what it's like to be in a studio, sitting there and only producing, getting white of not coming outside, no vitamins D, just sitting inside, no fresh air, and just sitting and just being creative. Well, there's a big story. You can't be creative if you want it, because creativity just comes when you let it go, you know?
Inspiration isn't something you can order via email or telephone.
No, that's what we think.
We think we can make this.
And if they want it, then we come to the point of Zen. And I don't want to use the word because it's hurting my
your throat,
my throat. Because words are also like sounds, but then you come to quietness. Just go in quietness. Go for 1 week or 2 weeks alone in the mountains and see what kind of inspiration comes there. Read a book about Nietzsche, how he did handle this thing when he was a professor, went to the hills, to the mountains in Italy, and get some inspiration from those guys. Yeah.
So no quick fix. You don't have any advice for jocks or DJs who are now at the edge of the cliff. And you say, okay, tomorrow at 9 a.m. get up, start meditating, start running. No program.
There are many things. You can go sporting. You can go sporting. Go outside. You can let your energetic body flow. You can sit quiet in meditation groups. It's all possible. But the main thing is that
listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart.
Roxette sang it. When people want to watch your documentary online, is it also with English subtitles?
No. Yeah, we have to do that still.
We have to get someone.
Yeah, it's good that you say it. You told it already to me, I think 100 years ago. So.
In the Dutch interview, yeah. Oh, for our Dutch viewers, there was also a Dutch interview we did. Thanks again for this nice talk.
Yes.
And good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sitting here with my dear friend Lenny.
Yeah.
Lenny Koer.
So nice to be here again with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks. We did a talk in Dutch about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we never met before, and it was great to meet each other. And it almost felt like we knew each other all along.
It's true. It was. It has had such a familiar feeling in me. It's just because we are connected to what we are doing and what we are talking about. This is such a deep connection that this is already opening yourself. It opens us, and it puts us in the middle, in the center of the oneness, actually.
Yeah.
So there is, in my opinion, there is no one who is interviewing and no one who is answering. Because what I felt the first time is that all your questions already put in this center already.
Yeah.
So that there was just no difference in what has been asked and what the answers were, actually.
Do you have an explanation for that? How come?
It's a desire. Most people, when you talk about a desire, they say as long as you talk about desires, it's not non-duality.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, a desire, I felt it from when I was very young. And in Dutch we have a word for it, heimwee. Heimwee.
Mm-hmm. A longing.
Yeah, a longing to go home. Heimwee, heim is home, and wee is the pain of the longing to come home. I felt this from very young, from when I was a child. And this desire itself is like it's implanted in everybody. It's this desire to... Because why do you long for it? Because you know it. You cannot feel homesick when you don't know this home already. And so the essence of this desire is planted in everybody. It's in you and it's in me. And this is doing its work. It's pushing us, it's pulling us through all the forms. When we really surrender to it, when we reached the age or the right time to just surrender to this longing. So this longing itself is already the quality of the awareness itself. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
When your intentions become reach the same quality as the desire, because the desire is the highest and the deepest desire for God, for oneness. So when your intentions reach the same quality, then there is no difference anymore.
Difference between
the essence of who we are, which is the desire itself also. This desire is the essence in us, which is working always, which is pulling us, which is sometimes we receive like presence, of this awareness already. Grace, we can call it. And the more we listen to it, the more we follow it, the more we just go through all these images of who we think we are, of ideas of who we are. It's very important actually to break these images, because every image is like a stone, you have to just go through it and leave it behind and become lighter and lighter, and then you feel this beautiful stream.
And wasn't that difficult for you, because you are seen by a lot of people here in the Netherlands as a famous singer, eh?
Yes.
Someone who participated in the Eurovision Song Contest, who has been in the charts, who's always asked for interviews. And how do you see yourself?
You know, it was not an incident. I think that I was winning with the song "The Troubadour." Troubadour is another word for you know. It's like in English you say bard. You know, he's a singer, but he's singing. But the troubadour is the one who is finding gold. You know, and I did win gold with this song, "The Troubadour."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm somebody who is looking for gold. You know, because I am gold. You are gold as well. So you're looking for your inner light, and so this is when I look to myself, and I see your videos from when I was 16 or 7, no, from the age of 18, and of course I became older and older, but I still see this essence in me, the same fire, the same purity, but more and more in my development I could leave things, I could leave some skin, you know, off. And finally, I also could step out of my name. It's something so beautiful to be able to just step out of your name. And when you can, because you can already feel, I don't know if you can feel it, that behind your name, Patrick, you know, there is the awareness of who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
There is a quality behind your name, and this is the awareness of who you are in the purest essence.
So behind my name there's a certain quality, or how should we call that?
Behind your name there is an awareness of who you are without your name. And just when you step out of your name, you also step out of all the ideas of who you are, of everything which is connected to your name, all the history of from when you were born, every story that is connected to you, where you believed in, and or the things that hurted you, or that gave you
pleasure, credits
and everything. So this is connected to the name, and in my experience, it was a very important moment when I really, for the first time, was longing to know what is the place behind my name. Who am I when I leave my name?
Yeah.
And it was, you know why? I told you in the Dutch version of our interview already that as a singer I lost my voice when I was 43 on a very in a heavy way, because even the doctors didn't know if I would ever be able to talk again. I couldn't talk anymore. There was I couldn't pronounce a, o, u, and there was a total weakness of my voice. And of course it was shocking me, it has been shocking me, because all my love, I really thought that the string of love was, you know, with scissors was
cut.
Cut, yes. Because for me singing was
everything.
Everything was who I was, and So, but in this process, I understood that I had to surrender. But meanwhile, I was all the time I was connected. I connected myself to really something I didn't know, but I felt this power of essence, I don't know, of God, whatever you call it. I could feel it as if it was just closer than my breath, you know. It was, so I connected myself to it, but I didn't know to what I was connecting. And so in the process I lost everything. I lost something of myself and became lighter and lighter. And I was really streaming with my stream and surrendering. And in the end, there was just a big surrendering, because you really have to cross like the big water.
Yeah.
Because you don't know to what you surrender. It can be frightening, because when you lose the little things that you still call me, who are you then, you know? So I know that that there was just like a voile, but very thin, and I was feeling already what was behind my name.
Yeah.
And just there was a time that I just slipped through it. I just slipped through my name in a really a total awareness of the quality of the silence, of the silence, yes, but silence that has like a compact energy of bundled forces. It is so beautiful. It is so powerful, because essence is energy without any form. And this is what you are, what I am, what you are. It's so powerful, you cannot imagine. And this is the power of the oneness. This is timeless as well. So in this timeless energy, there can never be any judgment, because in the timeless space, and space is not a place that is apart from you. The space is just another word for a state of being, of who you really are.
Yeah.
So in this timeless state of being, there can never be any judgment, because judgment is connected to time. It has so many qualities, this awareness of all the love, your heart becomes open, and I remember that afterwards it was like I was carrying a very big secret inside of me, and afterwards there came a time that my voice returned a little bit. It was very weak and very vulnerable, but I thought, I take this for 100%, because this is not limited, it is 100% for me, and I can express myself completely with it. So I started to sing, but it was not easy, because every time I was singing there was one moment that I didn't have any connection to the voice, but never mind. People loved it also very much, because they sensed this vulnerable thing, which I was also, and the power of this quality of being vulnerable. And I remember that I was, a few years later, I was interviewed by journalists from the radio, and I stepped into the studio, and I was thinking, nobody knows that I'm carrying this very big secret with me. And I was just thinking, what is the secret then? How can you explain it? And what I can say about this carrying this secret inside of you, it's like you're carrying a newborn baby, you know, without name.
Yeah.
It has no name. It has all the potential of life and of the universe in it. It is the most beautiful child that you can imagine that you're carrying. It's the most loving child that you're carrying. It's the most wise child that you're carrying. And at the same time, you are this child as well. And this is actually the essence that is inside of you, that always makes you happy, and that always is, I mean, not happy that you are just...
Joy.
Yeah, it's a stillness of happiness inside of you. It's power. You feel power. And after this awareness, it takes years that this awareness can totally integrate in your whole being. So this makes you always small. Always am aware that my name is just an illusion. It's an illusion.
Yeah, it makes you humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And humbleness is only the only thing, because when your ego is taking this awareness that you realized yourself, if the ego can easily say, "Ha, that is me,"
yeah.
You know.
I'm special.
I'm special. Yeah. Yes. Then you are. It is the most stupid thing you can do, because it's not the movement you ought to make, you should make, because the movement you make always is just the surrendering and feeling the relativity of the form, what you are. And that, you know, makes what you are doing, you are on this stream because your desire is so huge, actually, to grasp this all. But you already, of course, it is. I don't know. Perhaps I can sit in your place and ask you the same questions to you, and I'm curious what you are answering, and that in your answers, it already, you show that you already know this awareness.
Well, I had a taste of it, and that's because I love doing these interviews so much. It's a reason, because if you had a taste of that honey or whatever you want to call it, you want more. You want to taste it more and bigger and.
Yeah, but the taste already, you know, when you have tasted it, you know already that it is that.
Yeah.
You know, it is not something you imagine. It is, as long as there is an angel coming to me and say, you know, people have imaginations about this. So this is also like stones. You have to just forget about these things and leave everything, and just pop in and step out of your name and feel it. Feel the total awareness, and feel the silence, feel the eternity that you really are. It has no beginning, it has no end. And it is very big, and it's also very tiny, 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 small. This has this power in its essence as well. So it's beautiful.
Yeah. And especially how you talk about it, it brings me to that place, or whatever you want to call it, immediately, because it's a recognition.
Yeah.
It's the most intimate thing you can be with, because it's what you are. So what we're talking about here is what we are in essence. Lenny, have you ever thought about leaving your name all behind and thinking, well, just like another famous singer, I can't remember his name, but he took on a new name.
Yeah.
Ever thought about that? Or wasn't it necessary?
I didn't think about it. But I can imagine that changing a name can be important, because your name is connected to your story also.
Yeah.
And
the Indian masters do it also. They give people a new name.
Yeah. But I don't know the name in English, but you have to translate it for me, please.
Yeah.
Ik vind het een beetje aanstellerig overkomen.
You think it's a little bit
exaggerated.
Pretentious. Pretentious. Exaggerated.
You see?
You say Sri Lenny Kaur Madrati.
No. But as deep inside, I'm not connected to my name, and so it's not necessary. But I can imagine that it can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You perform still as a singer. You go to theaters in Holland, and I can imagine that almost every lyric you sing now has this quality.
Yeah.
And tries to give how do you call it? Point to this.
Yeah, it's an expression of it.
Yeah.
Everything, everything I do is an expression of it. Because you cannot do anything else. Because if you don't do it, if you feel like you're not truthful, you're not. If you're lying or something, it doesn't feel good inside. So whatever I do, it's constructive. It is because oneness is when you are silent. You don't do anything. You just sit there and you don't have to do anything. But when you are living and you're expressing yourself, then you're moving, of course. So then this oneness is the essence which is moving you, like in a stream. So wherever you go, you're on the right stream, and you're on the stream of oneness, and it means that you know that everything is connected. Everything falls into one point. It's so everything I do it has this this energy, this quality, and also in the expression of it. I'm performing with two musicians, and they are so beautiful. They are one is a bass player. His name is Misha, and my guitar player is Reinier. And they are so light and so vulnerable. Vulnerable also, but also very powerful. But they know when to be like fire and when to withdraw. It's breathing all the time, and it's light. So we are so one when we are performing, and I think that I have. It's the most beautiful way of expressing the oneness, in my opinion, because now I can talk about it, but when I talk and when I sing about it, then there's another vibration, and then it really can touch you deeper than just talking.
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Singing is more powerful than talking.
Because actually the singing quality, it is just the trembling of your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Actually is abstract, even if you use words. The trembling of the voice, which is a trilling.
Vibration.
A vibration, yes. Vibration. I didn't use the right word. Excuse me. The vibration of your voice has a quality. And even if you use words, the quality itself, it already can break through glass, actually. Mm.
Yeah.
And it can break through forms, through illusions.
Through ego, then.
Yeah, because ego is form.
Yeah.
Everything which is connected to form is ego, and it can be, it can be everything. So it is beautiful to use this art, the art of expressing through words and through music. So it's my way actually to reach people, and I don't care where I am singing, because I have been singing on huge places for millions of people, for television, 40,000 people. I've been singing, in Chile, in huge stages, but now I just don't care. Wherever they ask me, and wherever I can put my nice microphone, I have this microphone, I call it membraan. I'm singing from a distance, and it's beautiful. So also my guitar player, we are not connected to snoeren, to
cables, monitors. No.
So wherever there are people who want to see us, if it's in a little church or even in a stable, wherever, I will come, and I will sing. And so when people are united and they are longing to see us, to hear us, and it is possible, because also I have to pay my musicians, but they are also, they're not asking when it's for a small thing. They're not, they're not asking the highest price.
No.
And I'm the same. So, but when it's healthy thing, when we can do it, we come. So it's also breaking through the images of which I had before.
Yeah.
So when you lose your name, you just don't care anymore.
Yeah. You don't think I have to be the biggest name on the poster, and I only come when there's 5,000 people or more.
No, or when I have this money.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Sometimes I even have so little money left. But when you look over it in 1 year, I can eat. I can do everything. I'm not a poor singer.
No.
I'm the most happy.
And you do it because you feel the joy of bringing this message, or just the joy of singing or touching people. Or?
It is such a joy to do this. I'm not thinking about bringing this message actually.
Not a mission.
A mission also not. It is like expressing harmony.
Yeah.
And so in music you can express harmony.
Yeah.
and in the same time, everything I say is connected to each other. It's a whole story, you know, because oneness is not only it includes everything. It also includes the pain that is where you're suffering from. It's all included in what I'm doing. So it is such a joy to bring this, because it's truth. It's truth, it's pure, and people feel it. And when they are open for it, they are touched by it. And I read on my Facebook account one woman who visited my performance in Laren, it's a little place in Holland, and she said that she had such a beautiful dream that night, and she was so happy about it. But I won't say what dream she had, because I didn't ask her for permission. But anyway, I'm the most happiest woman when I can do this.
Yeah.
And also my musician thinks so, because there's nothing more fulfilling than doing this.
I know, it's the same for me when doing these interviews.
Yeah.
It's like the highest of the highest.
Yeah.
Being involved in this and being able to do this and that it can come through you. Do you call it satsang? Do you also?
Well, of course, every name. That's the trouble with names. Every name you give to something, it's devaluated.
It's
devaluated.
It makes it small.
Because they use it, and they misuse it, and then this name had not the same quality as it is in essence also. But it is a sort of satsang, of course.
Satsang means to come together in truth.
To come together in truth.
Yeah, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's the quality you bring in the theater.
And it's beautiful because it's just the way we were talking before this recording. We went up the stairs and we were talking already about things, you know. And so we were talking about that this pureness, that this essence is already shining through you, whatever you do. So you told me that sometimes it goes through you, the movement goes through you, whatever you do. You're not well prepared, or you didn't think, what shall I ask her? I can feel that it's very intuitive. So that because you trust your own stream.
It's just being available. Just showing up.
Showing up.
Yeah, showing up and come together.
And open your mouth and let's see what comes through.
But you develop a certain kind of trust then, I think, that it will come.
Trust is the most important thing in everything. You know, to trust is actually surrendering, because you don't know what you trust, if you can trust, you know. We're sitting in the car, you know. You don't know if somebody comes who has been drinking, and you know, you have to trust that it's all right, or whatever.
It reminds me of an anecdote by Osho. You know him. He didn't have a driver's license, and he was just driving around and going through red lights. Then a police officer stopped him and asked him, "What are you doing?" And he just said, "I trust existence."
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, but perhaps I think he had some experience of driving.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, because you have not to be stupid, you know.
But he didn't need the paper to tell him that he could drive.
No.
And maybe that's the thing also. You don't have a degree in talking and singing about this.
No. Nobody
said, "Well, here, you're enlightened. Here's the certificate."
No.
It just came through you.
Yeah. It is. And if you if you have this awareness, and you carry it always in you, then you know that it's working for you, and you cannot fall. Actually, I came here and I never speak English actually, or well, I sometimes speak English because my children live in Israel, and so I'm speaking Hebrew, but not 100%. So easily you continue your conversation in English. So, but I'm not so used to speak English, and I never used. This has words of expression, you know, that I can easily express myself in Dutch from what I'm feeling. But I said, so let's do it. My vocabulary is limited, but of course I can express myself.
But you're not sitting here like someone who's very nervous about this. When you open up, there it comes.
Yeah.
There's no. That's the strange thing about this. There's no doubt about what you are saying.
No, because it's so easy, because you know the point where everything is connected. You know the illusion, the play, where we are in,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the place where you are coming from, and also where you are still in.
Yeah.
Yes, so you balance with these two things, but you always can bring things back to the middle, to where everything is connected, and where everything comes from. So it's
Could you call that the source? Is that the beginning and ending of everything? Just to give it a name.
You can call it a source, yes, because it's the source has a connection to purity, and where everything comes from. This is also the purest thing possible, because no form has touched this, and you cannot enter this with a form. You can only enter it when you leave the form behind.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's nameless awareness. I think it's a beautiful expression of being, nameless awareness. That's how I feel it, how I experience it. And that's what you're carrying also, and together with your name.
Yeah.
Because of course, when I lost my voice, I often come back to this because it was, excuse me, it was like a gift for me, you know. Losing my voice was actually a gift, because it made the process so quickly. I had to, because I could not step out of it anymore. I lost my voice, so the only thing that I was... but it was already in a time that I found a master then, and I committed myself completely to finding this source, because this source I felt all my life inside of me. So when I lost my voice, I saw at home, I saw my, long place with my name on it. I saw magazines with interviews with my name on it. I also CDs, with, and I would look to myself like this, and my name. It was not me, It was just symbols, letters.
Yeah.
It was not me anymore. So that was so good to see.
Not frightening? Not that you think, oh my God, what is...
Of course, in the beginning, I was really afraid, because when you're losing this, that's why I have this compassion with a lot of people, and I understand their fear, because losing this houvast,
the thing you cling on.
The thing you cling on, It is difficult.
Of course.
Because you don't know what is next.
Yeah.
What is next then?
It feels like dying, I guess. It feels like losing everything.
It is true. It is like dying. And when you have a master and you believe him or her, then you dare to surrender more. A lot of people say, well, I do it without a master. Some can. But this last piece, is difficult because a master can give you this trust. You trust him or her, and you know that what he's saying is pure. So you are more prepared to this big surrendering. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and he's been there.
Yeah, and he's been there, and he is there.
Yeah.
And he knows that you are there as well. Yeah. So, but he is just taking off your, he's taking off the veils. Yeah. And he says, come in. Yeah. Come in. So it can be so helpful to go to a master and to ask for help if you really long for it, because it's versnelt je pad. It quickens
the path. It speeds up the process. Is your master still alive?
I had a master at that time. No, she's alive. But after a few years, I left this group because I felt that there were also things happening that were not so pure, and I could see with a wider view. So I left it. Yeah. I have to say that when you have experienced this awareness and you leave a certain group or you leave your master and everything, it's not so easy, because you really have to understand that you all the time you go back to this inner place, and you can do that. You can do it, but life is always trying to fool you again.
Yeah, it's Maya. It's the illusion. Yeah.
And even after this awareness, it can happen to you because your ego is so clever, and so I experienced that as well.
It goes out the front door, but sneaks in the back door.
Yeah. But you know the movement already.
Yeah.
That's what I knew. I knew what movement I had to make, just to surrender, to be small, to go back there, and don't put attention to what your mind is telling you or something. It's not the end of your journey. Actually, it's the beginning, and then the time comes that you have to get it through all the layers we have inside, which makes it very interesting.
So enlightenment is not just one moment and then everything is okay and everything is good and done and no work more.
No, enlightenment is you understand, what it is.
Yeah.
And then you have to trust this. And I can remember that I was grace. I received a lot of grace during this path, by all things, visions, but there can be a time that you think, where is grace, But grace you received already, and the book I wrote,
Kissed by
Eternity. Yeah, kissed by eternity. So when you are kissed by eternity, this is an everlasting kiss, This kiss, when eternity kisses you, then it's an eternal kiss. It cannot be just a kiss, So this eternal kiss you are yourself, and you realize yourself. It comes up by yourself, you know. You don't. So you realize every time again. You get more realizations of the same source, but there are so many expressions of it all the time, and it just doesn't end.
Yeah, beautifully said. It's an everlasting kiss. Yeah, you kiss yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so don't think I'm missing something. You don't miss anything. If you know the silence, and if you know that silence is full of energy, some people think, silence? It's not annoying, silence? No. Because silence is full of this bundled essence, you know, that we are. And it has all the power and the potential of expression that is not being expressed yet. So that's why you feel so much love.
It's potential.
It's potential, yeah. Yes. So, but it has no form, and you carry it always in you. It's like what I just said. It's like you're carrying a newborn child,
yeah,
which has all the wisdom and love inside and everything. And you are that child, but you always stay this newborn child. You know, you always carry something inside of you which has never been expressed, because you cannot. This is the power that you carry inside. That is also this non-duality that you are into, because this is when you feel the timelessness, there can be any judgment, and then there can be no duality.
Yeah, in a little place there or something, or do you think that would be possible? Are people in Israel open to this?
Oh, well, I think spirituality in Israel is very big because of the need also. People understand that they feel that the suffering of not being together, and beautiful things happen in Israel. There are a lot of people that feel that, you know, politics, wherever you go, if you go to in Holland, it's the same, in America and everywhere, politics, I even didn't know what to vote for, you know, the last time, because everything was, you know, I don't have anything really with politics, but I do have everything with human movements. And I see that in Israel there is a longing for bonding. Arab Israelis and Jewish Israelis, they're doing beautiful things together. They're making things up together because they know that in the root they are connected.
Yeah.
And wherever there are connections remade, this gives such a happiness. You start to cry. I always, you know, when I see people, they lost and then they found each other again, it makes you cry.
Of course, yeah.
And which has torn apart and comes together again, it's such a happiness. And this is happening in Israel. And I'm connected to an organization, Givat Aviva, it's called. And it's an organization in Israel that that is doing all these things, bringing children together in knowing each other, you know, beautiful things that, and also work situations where there is no difference between Arab Israelis and Israel. An Arab Israeli can be the boss of a Jewish Israeli, and they are really looking for it because they want to live like this. In the music as well. My son-in-law, He's a musician as well, and he is writing for music for Arab theater, children theater. And so he's working, and it was such a fun, and so now this producer has asked him now for a very big thing in big theaters. So you see, there is all things are happening, and this organization, which I'm connected to, they asked me to be the ambassador in Holland, and this is what I like to do. I like to bond people, connect people, and so you asked me, did you ever do something in Israel? No, I didn't.
No, maybe in the future.
No. Yeah.
Because you talk so beautiful about this. We have a couple of more minutes. I wanted to ask you the word love. What does that mean to you?
Love is also a word. You think that love is always, caressing love or whatever, but love in the deepest way can also sometimes break you. What happened to me when I lost my voice?
That's also love.
That's also love.
Yeah.
Because I broke my all the idea of who I thought I was just broke. And this is love from the highest level, actually, because I was longing to step out of my name, and they just broke my name by taking my voice, and nobody took my voice. It is not something apart from me that say, let's take her voice. Then no, it's in the highest quality of myself that this I made this happen. I think.
Yeah. You were longing for it, to lose your voice.
Yeah, I was longing to lose my name, and I lost my voice.
Yeah, great. And it was at the age at 43, you say.
Yes.
There are some spiritual teachers who say that is the age, 42, 43, where almost everyone feels that yearning so much.
Pick the flower in this age, really, because this is, I don't know, like...
I'm 42 right now. I'm turning 43, so...
You see, yes.
Yeah. And I lost my voice as a DJ, so...
you also did, yes.
Well, just the inspiration
yeah.
to... So maybe that's...
Yeah, because there is... It's like the puberteit.
Yeah, adolescence.
What?
Adolescence.
Adolescence. This is connected to a certain age, and 40, 43. With women it's perhaps a little different. Men, I don't know. This is the... adolescence, of the spiritual
puberty,
yeah. So, and then a lot of grace you can receive in this age, just to pick the flower and do it.
Yeah. Some teachers say every 7 years there comes like a shift. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49.
Yeah.
6, so on, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice to know for people who are watching this and are around 40. They think, oh, what the God is happening to me? Burnout, crisis. But you can assure them that it's just an opening up.
Yes. And don't put too much attention actually to heaviness, to this heavy things going on. You learn just to see that it's a chance for you to bring you to a place where you actually already are, but where you are not, you're not grounded there.
Yeah. So you're coming from spiritual puberty to spiritual maturity.
That's true.
That's
yes.
It.
Yeah.
It's starting to rain in our beautiful country. Thanks again for this very nice talk. We've talked almost for an hour right now. When people want to get in touch with you, is there also an English website or is it only in Dutch?
It's www.lennycour.com.
Okay.
Nou, ja, www.lennycour.com.
Okay. I'm going to find you on the internet. Thank you very much.
It was such a pleasure again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice. Sitting here in Belgium.
Yes.
With Guy Wouters.
Yes.
Or should I pronounce your first name as Guy? No.
In English speaking countries they say guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Near in Belgium they say guy. Yeah.
We talked once before in Dutch language
Right?
about non-duality, Advaita,
Yeah.
and your path. For people from abroad who don't know you, can you tell us something about what you do and why you do it?
That's not an easy question, what I do and what I don't do. Certainly by moving to this new house, which is completely in the country, in the green, where we came from the city, it is a big question for me and my wife. So now we have what we wanted to have, living in the green. And then this morning we said, and what now? What will we do now?
Yeah.
And we didn't have an answer.
No.
And I always think, if you don't have an answer, sometimes that's good. Because then it comes from nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Naturally,
Yeah.
yes. We had some difficult days when we saw that we changed to a complete new environment. This day was a very difficult day. We went driving around a bit and we saw a very nice church, and we went into the church and we sat there. And then I realized that being in a church and praying and being in the presence of what I call God gives you a lot of courage. And God is for me putting things in a bigger picture. You see, God is not the God people think, the father, the father with the white beard, but you put things in a wider context. Belgian churches, and they call it basilics, they have a very round
Roof.
A very round roof. So when you enter, you feel as you are in a kind of heaven.
Yeah.
You put it in a very big picture. And when I do this with my hands, I remember Douglas Harding,
Yeah.
who said, here you are space, here you are the world. But that's just the same when you enter in the church and you in the basilica and you think, I'm here in the presence with God. For me, that's the same. God or space or... So we said, now we are here, what are we going to do? And we said, we have to make reality ourselves. We also said, I thought I want to put things now in a very large picture. In my first interview I was more theoretically, and now I'm getting practically. More deeper in myself. It's difficult to explain because it's something you feel inside.
Yeah.
You feel that there is a bigger picture, much bigger than you are. It's the same thing Catholics or Protestants felt before when they went to church. God was very big, it was very more important than their ordinary life and their ordinary problems.
Yeah.
And I think in Advaita it's a bit the same. See? When I tell my wife I'm the space and in that space happens everything, she says, I don't believe that. What do I have with being in space when I don't get my laundry done? Huh?
Yeah.
And then I says, yeah, but doing your laundry also happened in the space. And she said, I can't do anything with those kind of theories because the laundry is still there, the ironing is still there. I think she's right. There are the two aspects, not only one. Like I said in the first interview, and what Jan van den Hoover said, it is, we live in a dualistic world. And we talk a lot about non-dualistic world. But Jan says, we first have to emerge in the dualistic world, till we are almost
fed up with
it, and that we need a God, a bigger perspective, a space. Yeah.
So Guy, you've been working as a psychotherapist for a lot of years.
Yeah.
What is the most hurt problem people come to you with?
Well, a lot of people come with problems like relation problems, sexual incest, depression, fear. But those are all problems who are lying on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
There is always something behind. And even if you go deeper and deeper, there always come the questions, who am I? What I'm doing here? Like we said this morning, my wife, and now we are here. And now? What are we going to do now? Who are we? Why are we here? I think those questions are the fundamental questions. And they are not easy to answer to my clients, because if you start talking about space, I'm the space, or I'm the ocean and the waves, and they can't imagine. It's too abstract. So what I try, mostly under the influence of other people like my wife, is to get it realistic, and not all those metaphors. The metaphors are nice, but to get Advaita very realistic and very usable for all kinds of people. That's a bit my goal, my aim. I think vulnerability. I don't know if you already listened to Brené Brown. Brené Brown, the power of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
You can see her on YouTube. I feel more and more vulnerable, and being aware of vulnerability and being available for all those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
That availability becomes an availability for everything. And with my children and my grandchildren, when I'm very critical, I'm in my ego, I'm in a tunnel vision, a real tunnel vision like that. I become aggressive, I become depressive, I become neurotic, till I can make a click here and see it in a wider space. And accepting who they are and what they are. And then everything changes. But it's not easy. Life is not easy. I think life is very difficult. And people say when I'm in the consciousness, everything gets easy. Well, I doubt.
Maybe that's a trap. When I first heard of Advaita, it looked to me like a cure for everything.
Yeah.
You think, now I found it.
Yeah.
Now I found a theory that's gonna get me rid of all problems, all the bad feelings, all negativity.
Yeah. Like it's an antivirus for the flu.
Yeah.
But still you get the flu.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less difficult to have a flu then, but still you get a flu. No, it's not a cure. It also is not a way to become happy. It's only a way to like Jeff Foster says, to get in total acceptance of everything what happens. And I can tell you that now, but that is my most difficult thing in life. To accept what's happening, what other people say.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's very difficult. I think that living the non-dualistic way is a thing you desire. And I think the desiring is the most important thing. Yeah. More than realizing. Sometimes masters say, I got realized.
Mm-hmm.
And I more like to desire.
And what is that you are desiring for? Total acceptance?
Yeah. Total acceptance, total... what does Jan van den Hoover says? Availability. Be available for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Being available for everything what happens. I struggle with it each day. But if you can see the struggle, you are already on the way.
In our Dutch interview you told us that you take medicine.
Yeah.
Is that still so? Are you still on pills to reduce anxiety or to feel more relaxed?
I think I'm getting more relaxed. Less pills. For the rest of my life I will be on one pill left. And that's okay for me.
Yeah.
Jan said to me, Guy, take that one pill and live your life, he said.
Yeah.
And look at the trees and the birds and take that one pill and say it's okay.
Yeah.
Accept also that.
And are you planning to give satsang also here in your new home, or maybe one-on-one talks? Or?
On my website there is here a place for satsang. We can do it outside now. We can do it inside. I'll leave it up to who is coming and what is coming. And,
yeah. There's not that much going on in Belgium with Advaita meetings.
No.
Not the same as in Holland, right?
No.
How come?
I don't know.
Mm.
I think Flemish people are more practical, are more having difficulties in seeing abstract things. And also me, when I go to listen to a satsang, usually I leave earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cannot learn to drive a car just by hearing your teacher explaining how to drive a car.
Yeah.
You have to step into the car and drive.
Yeah.
And sometimes have an accident or a collision.
Yeah.
You have to step into real life.
So is that maybe the thing that a lot of Advaita fans do? They go from one satsang to the other, they read books, but they forget about living life to the fullest.
Yeah. And living life to the fullest is who will do the laundry today, who will cleaning the house today,
Yeah.
who will taking care of the dogs today, who will walk the dogs, and all those really things of life.
Mm-hmm.
And how you in that real life, how do you get non-dualistic by cleaning the house? How you can do it without be are getting enervated
Yeah.
or angry because you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You just can you just do it in acceptance?
Yeah. Mostly when we men clean the house, it's let's do it
Right.
quick so I can get behind the computer again.
Like an old Zen master said to his pupil, the pupil asked, teacher, master, I have meditated for so many years and I don't have enlightenment. And the master said, go and clean the kitchen. Yeah.
Is that what I mean by mindfulness? Doing things in the moment, no resistance.
Yeah. I think so. It's also one of my struggles. Yeah.
But what is it then? What comes up when you are cleaning the house or walking the dog? Is that not wanting to walk the dog?
Yeah.
And ever found an answer why?
Because I'm lazy. Because I'm lazy and I prefer to sit in my chair
Yeah.
and don't take any responsibility. Till I'm getting aware that I don't want to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Till I get aware that I'm lazy and that I can fully accept it, then I can walk the dogs. Then I think I'm on the non-dualistic way.
Mm-hmm. But then I think, what's wrong with being lazy?
Right. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Don't judge yourself on that.
No. But that doesn't mean that some other people need you to do things. Or you just have to clean the house because your wife is doing the laundry. Because she doesn't have to do everything on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So being lazy is okay, between brackets, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a certain limit.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about silence.
And the dog starts
And
barking.
the dog starts barking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think silence is more important than words. I've always dreamed to giving psychotherapy or counseling without any words.
Just being with someone.
Just being with one, completely silent. I would like to do that before I leave. Completely silent, just being there. Just being. No more words, no more satsang. No more satsang with words. I only read about Ramana Maharaji and I heard that he didn't say a lot. Afterwards they made movies, old movies, where they talked about him, but himself he didn't say a lot. And yeah, silence. I think there is more Advaita in silence than in words. What is, you sit in church or in a Buddhist temple and you sit in silence. Then you feel there is something bigger, something that can dragen,
Carry.
that can carry all your problems. Because when my wife and I were having problems and we keep talking about it, sometimes we get talking so much that we get in a drama,
Yeah.
in an ego drama.
Yeah.
So when we sit still, and then I have an American friend at Facebook, and we video chat,
Mm-hmm.
and he talked about gazing therapy. You know about gazing therapy?
Is that looking in each other's eyes?
Just looking into, not staring,
Mm-hmm.
but gazing. Just looking into the other one's eyes with a sort of loving kindness. and that's beautiful for me. That's Advaita for me.
It sounds very intimate.
Very intimate,
Yeah.
and a lot of love. If there would be no love in Advaita, I wouldn't care about it. If there is no love in Zen, I wouldn't care about it. And that's something what I find in Christian mysticism, like St. John of the Cross and Teresa from Avila. They had a lot of love in them. That's sometimes what I'm missing in the other religions.
So is the search for truth the search for love?
Yeah. Not so much the search for love. First of all, feeling the love in yourself, and then by gazing to the other one, or just by being present to the other one, you interchange love, and there you solve more problems than with words. I think it's all about love.
Shall we give the dog some love and then start the...
Yeah, let's give the dog some love. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Stop.
So, what is love to you? That four-letter word everyone talks about.
It's inside. Love is not so much between you and me. Love is first of all inside me. Love is a feeling of softening, soothing. Personal interaction is another kind of love. It's love with a small L. I'm talking of with a large L. It's more important for me than Advaita or Zen, or I like it. Or I don't read it anymore about Advaita or. The theories are fading away. It's becoming silence, love and silence. It's a deepening in my life, becoming more soft. It's about my heart.
And has that something to do with age? You hear sometimes that the older people get, the more vulnerable people get, and the more silent people get.
Well, I think it's the way with me. I think it's not always like that, because there are also older people who are getting more harder and frustrated.
Yeah.
There are two ways older people can go: becoming harder, frustrated, angry, afraid, and other ones are becoming softer. And I hope I'm one of those who is getting softer. I think so.
But do you cry a lot, or do you get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an emotional guy.
Always been, or now more?
More, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my family members said to me that I'm getting emotional incontinent. Not so fine to say, but yeah, you cry more, and it's not a crying of sentimental things. There is a crazy example, like André Hazes, well known in the Holland, but perhaps not so known in the English countries, but not so much his music and his songs, but I saw a DVD of his life, how difficult his life was with his alcoholic problem. Yeah. And then it makes me cry when somebody is having a very difficult life. And he's looking for love. Andre, I think, when I can't say, was looking for love. And yeah, I'm getting more emotional with the day. It's okay because I'm melting.
Yeah.
Before I was very hard, strong. I knew everything. And now I don't know so much anymore. Perhaps I don't know anything anymore. At last you are breathing and smiling and crying and cleaning the house. That's it.
Yeah, that's special enough.
That's special enough?
Yeah.
What do you need more in life?
Yeah, well, we think there's something special out there to get and to achieve, enlightenment, knowledge. Yeah. I'm interested, Guy, how does that change your work as a psychotherapist? Because I heard that, and I experience with some psychotherapists, that they still keep kind of distance to the patient they have, they don't get involved emotionally. Can you still do that?
No, of course I can't do that anymore. That's what you learn at university. Keep a distance.
Yeah.
Be clinical. Be ahead of the client. I can't do that anymore. Sometimes I take a client in my arms. And then other psychologists will say he does that because he needs love himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. But the other one also needs love.
It works both ways. Yeah.
And when I always almost say love therapy, but that's very difficult, dangerous to say.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have love therapy, then I see clients and patients changing. More changing than having a year on therapy with words and methods and protocols. But when the client feels you really care about him or her, I think then he or her changes, really changes.
Yeah. That's the same, I don't know if I talked about it with you in the Dutch interview, but in Africa, when someone is depressed, they throw a party for him, they cuddle him all day, they make great food for him, they sing for him, they dance for him, they give him love.
Yeah, they give him love, yeah.
And he cures.
Yeah. And what do we hear?
Pills.
Yeah. Pills and clinical therapy.
Yeah.
Behavior therapy, cognitive therapy. You know that giving a hug to a client is becoming very dangerous.
You can get...
you can get...
reprimand or...
Yeah, certainly. Because the other one said he touched me or... Yeah. No. I cannot give any more psychotherapy
in the old way.
In the old way.
No.
That's not possible anymore. And if somebody would like to have that here, I would say no, go somewhere else. Yeah. In fact, I'm not a psychotherapist anymore. No. I don't know if you know Thomas Myrtle, the monk, the Trappist monk who was a playboy, lived in the south of France and then became a monk in the United States. And he said that God said to him, metaphorically, you don't want to carry any title anymore, mystic or psychotherapist, and sometimes I use it on my websites, in my automatic answering mails, because people always ask, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you a psychotherapist or a counselor? And then people need that you give an answer. But for myself, I don't want to have a title anymore. Yeah.
Because it limits you, or
It limits you. It gets me more like that.
Mhm.
This is feels like a better interview than the first one. Because now I feel more.
Hmm.
I'm more present. The first interview I was more there,
Mhm.
and now I'm more here.
Yeah. People can see the difference
Yeah.
and feel the difference.
Mm.
When you open your website, you hear a song, a very uplifting song.
Yeah.
What song is it again?
My webmaster put it
Yeah.
in. No mountain is high enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also we see the picture with me and with my wife and me. No mountain is high enough. People say that in their lives there are so many mountains they cannot get over them. But you can't get over them. The only problem is that when you get to a mountain, you stay at the top.
Ah.
It's descending, like they say in Zen with the guy who is watching the cows or don't know which animals. At the end of his life, he's just walking at the market and selling wine. That's like Siddhartha in Hermann Hesse.
Mhm.
He looks for everything, religion, buying, selling, and at the end he becomes a ferryman. So at the end, you don't become enlightened. You just walk the dogs, do the cleaning, but you do it in another way,
Yeah, with a quality.
with quality, exactly, with the mindfulness, yeah, with love.
Yeah.
My dogs feel. You saw when I cuddled the big one,
Mhm.
then he put his head down. He becomes quiet.
Yeah.
Dogs, animals feel that very well. Sometimes people are afraid of it. When I have too much love in myself and I be very loving kindness to other people, some things they get aggressive
Yeah.
because they don't know it anymore.
No.
You know, there is so much aggression and individualism. And when somebody is loving, then they get
Yeah.
afraid. My dogs do that. They like that.
Yeah.
So, to come to a conclusion, it's all about love for me. And when love is not the result, then it doesn't, I have no need for it.
No. One more question I want to ask you, Guy, about the childhood. There's a lot of documentaries on TV lately in Dutch about the importance of how we bring up our children and all the conflicts we see in the world right now, that it's part of the wrong upbringing of a child. What is the right way to send a child into the world? Have you found an answer to that?
Yeah, attention. To giving attention, is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
To give attention.
Yeah.
Don't leave the child just walking around while you are working,
Mm-hmm.
or when you are coming home at 6, 7 o'clock, and when it has to go to bed and look at his laptop or the Pokemon thing, or give it attention. Give it a lot of attention. Don't give it an iPhone. I do it myself. But don't give it an iPhone. Don't give it a MacBook Air. Give it attention. Look it in the eyes. Look at your children. When you look a child in their eyes, the child becomes aware he has a right to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And when he has the right to be there as a child, he will be another adult. An adult which has the right to be there. I think when you are an adult who doesn't have the right to be there, there is a big chance you become aggressive.
Why is that?
I think there is a big paradox. When I don't have the right to be there, when nobody loves me, when nobody sees me, I have to kill another one. I have to kill another one to feel that I'm alive. That's a very, perhaps, that's my personal
Vision. Yeah.
yes. I kill you because I have to feel alive. I kill you to feel something, because otherwise I don't feel anything. And then I'm a living dead. You know, I don't believe in terrorism. No. Terrorism is a thing I think which is made by the media. I believe in sick people. Very psychic sick people. And how we treat them or how we don't treat them. How we give them so many pills and they don't get better. Because we know on the beforehand that the pills don't work. But we still give them pills. They get in a psychotic situation and they do very strange things then. And you see that the latest terrorist attack, even the media say the murderer wasn't connected to a terrorist organization, but he had psychic problems.
Yeah, he was depressed. He was
Well, more and more you hear that now.
Yeah.
More and more you hear that, and I think that's the truth behind. We have to look at what's behind. Yeah, what is the real reason?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do they do that? Yeah.
So it's all just a big shout out for attention, for help.
Yeah.
Please give me love.
Yeah, and please see me,
Yeah.
hear me. Acknowledge that I'm a person. Will be people who wouldn't like what I say now. Most people say when cut his head off or send him to prison for the rest of his life or death sentence or so. But that will not help because 20 terrorists went to prison here in Belgium, and 2 days later there are 5 others.
Yeah.
So I don't say you don't have to put him in prison, but that's not really the
Cure.
That's not really the
No.
cure. No. You have to look deeper.
So the very loving thing to say, because it's very ego-minded to say, well, just kill all the terrorists and then peace is back again. But
well, that's something which I remembered from my Buddhist period, being a bodhisattva. The promise that I will save everyone on this earth, which Tom Latauer said is a promise nobody can keep. It's impossible. And Tom says, and still, it's my desire. I believe in what is not possible. That I have from Tom Latauers. Yeah.
so when people want to get in touch with you, Guy, what is the fastest way? Facebook or your website? Is there anything in English we can read? Or
Yes. Both websites are now translated in English.
Okay.
There is a website which is called guywouters.be, which is about my psychotherapeutic practice. And the latest version really goes about what I'm telling now. And the other website is called Spirituele Ondersteuning, how to translate in English, spiritual support,
Mm-hmm.
supporting people. If I can, I try. And all that side is also translated in English.
Yeah.
And it starts with, for me, the most important video I ever heard also. Who am I really? Who am I really? That's the morning question. Who am I?
And that's by Ramana or?
I think that's Mochi or
Mochi.
I'm not. No, it's a woman. Who am I? And there doesn't come an answer. And just because there doesn't come an answer, that's who I am. If there would come an answer, that would not be me.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's a mystery. For me, life is a mystery. Leave it a mystery. Don't go and solve it. Don't look for solutions. Don't try to explain it. Don't call it names. It's a mystery which we cannot understand. That's my vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for this nice, quiet talk.
Yeah.
One more practical thing for people who live in the south of the Netherlands or the south of Belgium.
Yeah.
That's where you are situated,
Um,
near Hasselt.
Near Hasselt. So a big part of Limburg, also Dutch Limburg,
Yeah.
Flemish Limburg. I don't do any talks in French, but people are welcome, but they don't may expect too many words from me and too many talks, but more sitting into being and gazing.
Yeah.
It's a new thing what I discovered, the gazing theory, and I really like it.
But you just said it's not the same as staring. What's the difference between gazing and staring?
Oh, so that's staring is a little bit dominant, a little bit
Yeah, aggressive.
a
Almost.
little bit aggressive.
Yeah.
You are going to do what I say. You are going to understand me, and if you don't understand me, you're a fool. And gazing is loving.
Yeah. It's all equal. No dominance or no. Yeah.
no.
I can understand. Oh, we'll look up gazing therapy. So that's maybe something you're gonna do with your clients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Finally, there I realized my dream of giving therapy or counseling with not so many words anymore.
Yeah.
And perhaps I will have just one client a week, and that's okay for me.
Yeah. Because you're almost retired, or
Yeah,
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 enjoying the countryside.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what I want to do, the loving and giving attention, be kind, I can do that in the village too, and in the street and in the market. I don't need clients for that.
No. And that's something we can all maybe can do.
Yeah, yeah. And most of therapists ask 60 euros or 70 euros. I'm asking now 35 euros, and that will be just for a small period. And then I will work for free. But that's very dangerous, you know, because when you work for free, they say it's not worth a lot. Yeah, people want to pay money, and a lot of money. He's a good doctor or he's a good psychiatrist when he asks 100 euros, but when he works for free, it's an amateur. So ask 5 euros, I think. Yeah. You can't if you work with your heart, how can you ask for money then? It's almost contradicting.
Yeah.
If you would ask me money for this interview, that wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't work.
No.
Okay.
Thanks again, Guy.
Yeah.
And for people who are interested, there's also another interview with you on the website,
Yeah.
nondualisme.nl, and that's a talk in Dutch. And
Yeah.
we'll put your websites underneath the movie.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And let's have some more coffee.
Let's have more coffee. Thank you. Yeah.
Meeting once again, my dear friend Tiger Singleton. How many years has it been since we last spoke?
You know, it's probably been pretty close to 2 years. Yeah.
When you were in Holland?
Well, the last time I was in Holland and you were sitting with me.
Yeah, because you've been there more often.
Yeah, quite a few times.
Yeah. Now we're in a beautiful other country.
Portugal.
Portugal. Is this your home base?
That's what it looks like. I mean, I'm living in Lisbon, but tomorrow still unknown. We'll see. But this is where I'm at, so yeah, I'm going to call it home for now.
So you're just like a bird, wherever you lay your head, that's your home.
Yes, this seems to be the way of life's flow, is, because in one way I don't even know why, you know, I'm in Portugal. It's just, this is what's happening, so I call it home, even though it doesn't necessarily feel like home, but no place on earth feels like home for me.
No?
No. I find that no matter where I'm at, the only home is the internal home in the heart. So, yeah, which is quite comforting and terrifying at the same time.
Wow. So I'm imagining then that I traveled from the Netherlands to Portugal.
Yeah.
Is that false, or is it also true?
Oh no, for sure. That's the play. I mean, is there anything real in life called Portugal? That's debatable. But so did you travel to Portugal? In one way, yes, and in one way, no.
Yeah. I once heard the teacher tell me that I never travel.
Right.
Portugal just arrives in me, or
Yeah.
appears in me.
Yeah, that's amazing too, because when you go to Portugal, you kind of experience your idea of Portugal, but your idea of Portugal isn't really the reality of this place or earth. It is what it is, and we can give it names, but we don't really experience the name as we do the reality of it.
Yeah. And what about expectations? I always, when I travel to a new country, I'm expecting all kinds of stuff.
For sure.
Has that completely dropped away for you, or is there still sometimes some expectation?
Oh, always. I just find out that they're not real. I mean, it is by nature the mind's gonna project what's to come, but we always find out in some way it's not really that. And so the expectations can be there. It's just a matter of how much weight do they have, how much validity do they have. And more I just find that they don't have much of.
So you're never disappointed?
There's always the play of disappointment, but it has the opportunity to turn into comedy in the way of course I'm disappointed because it was never real to begin with. And I thought it was real for a moment, and then I found out it's not, so thus is the cosmic joke.
Okay, so you laugh it away, you laugh about it, or if something goes wrong or not as expected?
Yeah, well, that's the play. That's what we're always running into, is life will never conform to our idea about life, which is our expectation. We never find our expectation, and in the moment we think we do, then it disappears again. The moment we think we captured something, it slips through the fingers once again. And so for me, this is the cosmic joke, is that there's nothing for me to hold on to in this life, because everything I think I am holding on to will show me that I'm not. And so the invitation is to release life back to life, release circumstance back to circumstance, and let the play be what it is.
And how does that feel?
You know, it feels, it's liberating. I mean, but only in contrast to what it feels like when you're arguing. It's like we have that experience when we're arguing with what's happening, but when you realize that the argument is false, there's no reality to it, then the burden drops. In the same way that someone might argue with wintertime. They might say, winter, you're rude, you're cold, you're heartless. But then you see that winter is what allows for life to be life, and without it, there'd be no life. There'd be no you. There'd be no experience. Then the argument drops and says, oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't you. It was me arguing with what you are, and now I see what you are, and there's no need for argument. And so in that, the burden drops, and then liberation shows itself in the way that there wasn't really an argument. There wasn't really a need to reject the winter, because the winter is innocence in its being, that it must be in order for life to be.
Today it's not winter, it's almost summer.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I immediately start complaining, phew,
Right, yeah.
I'm not built for this weather.
Yeah. See, and again, we can always find something to argue with, regardless of the season, which is the comedy. Which is the comedy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But sometimes it looks like I'm suffering from certain things.
Yeah, it looks like that, doesn't it? Yeah, it's
When
amazing.
it's hot and the air conditioning in the car we drove is broken,
Right.
so it's quite a drive then.
Yeah.
What's the right way to approach that then? Just
Well,
laugh about
whatever way you approach it, man, because
Yeah?
you're going to learn, either way, so it's all good. The liberation is in seeing that you're not actually arguing with that something out there. You're not actually arguing with the season. You're arguing with your argument. You're not actually arguing with anything that's real. And the argument looks to support your own individual person.
Mm-hmm.
And so arguments fuel the separate self. They fuel your ability to be you. In order for you to be a separate person, you have to have an argument.
So I have to reject certain stuff to feel somebody.
Yeah, to create who you are. I mean, it's the play of being a separate someone. You have to, in essence, pick a side. Because you can't be both and be who you think you are. Because if it's whole, then there's no you.
So now we have the World Cup soccer. That's one of those things that makes you feel great when they win,
Right.
and terrible when your country, your club
Yes.
loses.
Isn't that fantastic?
Sometimes when they win,
Yeah, it shows you the playful delusion in all of it. I mean, none of it's wrong. It's totally allowed, but you see how you set yourself up. Because it's like when you pick a team, you're putting your worth and value, your identity in one team and not the other.
Mhm.
And so you anxiously want this to win so that you validate who you are. And in order to do that, there has to be some play of violence being projected towards the other side, which is, I don't like you, I don't want you, I don't want you to win because I want to win. And so there's a projection of separation when the whole thing is just fantasy, because your worth and value isn't in this and it isn't in that. It's not in the world. It's not in the appearance of things.
now we talk about soccer, but there are also wars going on between countries.
Yeah. And you see it's kind of the same play.
But people get killed
Yeah.
over a mind-made self or
Yeah.
projection or...
Yeah, we should probably look at that then, huh?
Well, I'm guessing it's if we could do something about that.
Yeah.
Should there be something done about this?
All you can do is see the war inside of yourself. Because trying to solve an external war without resolving the internal issue, you're not going to make any progress. Because if you think the war is out here and not in here, then you're just trying to reorganize the surface condition to change the internal, and we all know that that doesn't work. And so the war out here can point us to the war inside, and then we can look at that and be like, oh, I see what's happening here. It's the same thing. And I'm being violent to parts of myself because I judge them and I condemn them and I want to hide from them and I want to control them and manipulate. And so when we see that that's no longer necessary, then it becomes impossible to be violent on the surface. And so it's all a teacher. Whatever we're seeing on the surface, whether it's in your own life or collectively, it's showing us what's happening inside so that can allow for healing.
What's the first step to take? Come see Tiger Singleton when he's in Amsterdam, or
No.
No. What was the first step for you to this?
It's every day. Every day it's the same lesson all over again. It's addressing the real issue, which is, wow, it's not this, it's not that. It's my own self-violence. It's my own internal rejection of what I am. And then that shows itself on the surface. So I think in the most practical way, as terrifying as it might sound or be, it's getting incredibly honest with yourself. It's like, what's the real issue? Because you can like blame the world, you can blame other people, and you can say, oh, I feel like this because of da 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 da. But is that really the real issue? Or is it something more sincere? And so as we unravel into a deeper sincerity, we see that there's a hurt here. There's a pain between you and you that looks to resolve itself out here, and it's not working. And so the whole path of this inquiry, as far as I'm concerned, from my own experience, is an internal healing of that pain. And then as that is resolved and nurtured, then it gets expressed outward. And then in that, this transforms, and then everything else transforms. And so you have to be willing to go inward to look at the real issue. And that's not necessarily exciting, and it's not always fun, but it's the real issue. And sooner or later, we all come to that point. I mean, we exhaust ourselves in the world trying to feel better, only to find disappointment. And sooner or later, we find ourselves collapsing on our knees in this surrender that says, okay, there's nowhere else to go. What's the real issue? And so we are all going to come to that place sooner or later. And so my playful invitation is, if you'd like to look at that, then let's look at it. If not, no worries, because when the student's ready, then the teacher appears.
Is there a certain tradition you come from? Could we call it Advaita Vedanta or non-duality or Course in Miracles? Or is it a mix?
I would call it life.
Life is the teaching.
Life. And my goodness, life is the master teacher. Nature is the master teacher. And in that, I can't contribute it to any particular ideology. Or even philosophy. For me, it's just a deep sincerity of being, where you see the absolute failure of being a human, or trying to be a human, or trying to be what you're not. And that forces you inward to see the truth. I mean, I grew up around Christianity. And then I came across all different paths, and I kind of saw that this is all the same thing. In every way, it's all pointing to the same thing. And so in that, I can't really distinguish. It's like, where did this come from? What path is it? It's all the same.
So, any doubts?
And what do you mean?
Well, when I first heard of people talking about this, my heart opened. I went, wow! But then the mind started arguing with it.
Yeah.
Who tells me that this guy is telling the truth? Or isn't he just fantasizing? Or
Well, I think if the question is if I'm telling the truth, or you should listen to me, I think that should be ignored. I don't advise putting any authority in what comes out of my mouth. Because what I see is that no one understands me. No one hears me. Everyone hears their own interpretation. So they hear themselves. And so as I tell people my experience, they filter it through their experience. And so you're literally listening to yourself when you hear me talk. And so to believe that you're listening to me, or that I have authority, is to separate yourself from your own power of discernment, from your own direct experience. And this is why I don't even consider myself a teacher.
A guru?
No, good God, no.
No?
That's ridiculous.
But you show people from the darkness to the light.
I understand that's what it looks like, but in maybe a more authentic way, I'm singing a song. I'm sharing what I see as so beautiful about being, and then those that resonate come listen to that song. But it would be absurd to go to a concert and then experience a profound peace and then go up to the pianist and say, you're a master of peace. No, you're the one that was open. You're the one that's available. You're the one that's interpreting. This is your discovery. I'm just allowing life to flow through what I am. And so in this, I see that I'm not doing anything. Because when I'm sharing, when life is flowing through me, I get out of the way. There's not, someone there that thinks they know something. For me, it's a sweet surrendering into a deep sincerity that honors the human experience and simply says, this is what I see that's so amazing. Maybe you see the same thing. And then we can celebrate that. And if not, no worries. I don't see anything that I'm saying as the right thing or the true thing. It's just life expressing itself.
So you're not on a mission?
No. I mean...
What motivates you then to talk about this?
The beauty of it, man. The truth of it. Again, through the direct experience of what is seen from behind these eyes, from this heart. In the way that a painter is compelled to paint, there's a beauty that wants to be shared. And if the painter doesn't paint, they go crazy because they're not allowing the authenticity, the truth to move. And so it's the same for me. I can't help but share what is seen as lovely. And if I don't, then none of this makes sense to me. It's like, if love isn't to be shared, then what the hell's the point? And so it's not even of my own doing. It's just the most natural thing to do. It's the most effortless thing to do. And that is more fun and more enjoyable than trying to force something.